Hi, it's Dr. Sara Gottfried. I'm the integrative physician who helps women feel sexy, ripe, and delicious using natural hormone balancing. And I wanted to talk to you today about burst exercise. So, I am teaching this fantastic course called Mission Ignition. It's about how women can use natural hormone balancing to face some of the problems, some of the conditions that they struggle with, such as low sex drive, weight gain, low energy, low vitality, and perimenopause and menopause. What we're doing right now is the 30-day course on sex drive, and I recommended this week that all of the participants do burst exercise. So I wanted to address a question that came up around what is burst exercise and why should I bother? So number one, what is it? It's basically sprinting. It is interval training, which is what our bodies are designed to do. So interval training is a really fantastic idea for a few reasons, and maybe not the reason that you think. The main reason I think it's important is because it changes your growth hormone level, and I'm going to explain why that's important in just a moment. So just to finish up with this piece of what it is, you are sprinting. You are increasing your oxygen capacity and your heart rate from your baseline when you're exercising aerobically to your anaerobic threshold. And that's where you switch from aerobic metabolism to anaerobic metabolism. The biochemistry is complicated. You don't need to know that so much. But the idea is that you're really pushing yourself hard. It's hard to talk. You're breathing hard. So if you're jogging, for instance, I jog at about a 9-minute mile. And when I sprint, I like to go down to maybe a 6-minute mile briefly. So I do that for 60 to 90 seconds. 75 seconds is just about right for me. So that's one example. I used to get on the elliptical trainer and I would exercise at a moderate pace, reading the New Yorker for 45 minutes to an hour. I found over time that data doesn't support doing that. What's much better for you is to exercise at that pace and then every few minutes bump it up a notch. Go up to this interval training where you're pushing yourself hard and you really feel it. You're breathing hard. You're at your anaerobic threshold. So that's how to do it. Let me tell you why. So growth hormone is one of those hormones that tends to decline with age. It starts to go down in your 30s. And many people don't realize that this is one of the reasons why they're gaining weight at their midsection, especially abdominal fat, and their skin is getting more saggy, and maybe their mood is not quite what it used to be. So let me tell you about the symptoms of growth hormone deficiency, and then we'll get back to burst exercise. So one of the symptoms physically is that you can have more saggy skin, especially your cheeks and your neck. So saggy skin is one of the physical signs of growth hormone deficiency. Another is thinning hair. And then I mentioned the spare floaty around the midsection, especially if your abdomen is a little flabby, so both fat and also kind of sagging. So those are some of the symptoms physically of growth hormone deficiency. If you then look at some of the mood issues, a key part is lack of inner peace. So if you've really felt a difference in your inner peace over time and you're over the age of 30, this is one of the things that you may want to consider. Another is anxiety that's really not prompted by anything serious or important. And then a third is low-grade depression, not full-on major depression, but just kind of this low-grade, everything's not quite right feeling that you have. Dysthymia is what we call it. So those are some of the symptoms of growth hormone deficiency, but the key treatment in my mind is that you do burst exercise. Do that combined with a paleo diet. I think you've got it made in terms of raising growth hormone. I don't recommend taking injections of growth hormone. I don't feel like the safety data is there for me to recommend that. So I wanted to give you a few other tips. I mentioned jogging, interval training, doing that on machines at the gym. And then another option for you would be to check out a nutritionist and trainer that I really love named JJ Virgin. Her website is jjvirgin.com. And she has an exercise that you can do called the 4x4. You can download it for free on our website, and I highly recommend that. And it's basically where you are doing burst exercise with 4 different muscle groups. So go to jjvirgin.com to check that out and get going with your burst exercise this week. I recommend that you do it 2 to 4 times a week in addition to some aerobic exercise. All right, this is Dr. Sara Gottfried. signing out. Goodbye.